Hey my friends, how's it going? Thank you for joining me on my journey to the old world. I think this is video number 21, my friends. Blackjack 21. I believe so. Okay, my friends. So today we're going to be working on our 1,000-point list, my friends, for the BC. Okay, so pretty much I got it almost all figured out. We have about I don't know, 82, 80-something points to work out still. So, alright, much better. So, what we're looking at, my friends, oh God, pardon me. Okay, so we're looking at a Vampire Thrall as my general. Okay. She still has 35 points I can add to her, okay? So right now she's rocking in at 156. I got a Right Lord, and he still has 50 points he can bring in. Okay, but right now I'm currently at 918 points, my friends. So I got 82 points to work with, okay? So I have 10 Dire Wolves. I'm going to have 20 Crypt Ghouls. Going to have 18 Grave Guard. And then 5 Blood Knights, okay? And that, my friends, that's 918 points right there, okay? Now, so I'm spreading it kind of thin. I still would like to add a Magic Banner to the Grave Guard. And it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I'm cutting it pretty close. Now, I was talking to my friend Jessie, and I know she's been struggling with her 1,000-point list as well, because, my friends, it just adds up so fast. It adds up so fast. So, I was really hoping, my friends, to be able to give the Blood Knights the Hellish Figure banner so they would have reserve move, okay? I wasn't able to do that because that threw me over the point limit for my rare slot, okay, by 36 points. And there was no way to squeeze out 36 points because I only had 5 knights. So, I'm going to have to rely on my single spellcaster to be able to cast Hellish Vigor. That's going to be her only spell. It's going to be Hellish Vigor. And then the Invocation of Neok, because of vampire power. Okay, my friends, yeah. Now, the Right Lord is 40 points, and he's what's allowing me to bring the the Grave Guard in as core, okay? Actually, we should work on those guys first. They're going to take longer. Pardon me, I'm all raspy. Now, my friends, I really meant to do some primering today, but the weather was really bad, friends, really bad. We had some rain, some thunder. Not good weather. Not good weather for primering at all. Now this, my friends, is a sealed box. I got this pretty deal at 33 bucks, okay? And this is what? This is from (2007). So what was that, 7th edition? I think that might have been. I don't think it was 8th. I'll have to check later on. I don't got my books with me. I gotta find that box still. I got a box with all my Warhammer books in there. Plus some other D&D books. Kind of like all my gaming books. I can't find the box. I know it's around. I know it didn't get lost or donated. It's just we're in the middle of shuffling the house around. Trying to empty out a storage locker that's been draining us dry. But you know, I'll find it. I'm not really too concerned about it because I have all the books I need right here with the Old World. And then also, too, we live in a great time Well, you can access all this great information on the phone, you know. So I'm using like an army builder thing to help me. You know, I still have to refer to my rules in the PDF, you know, but that's okay. So, here we go, my friends. So we're going to be bringing in 18 Graveguard, basically the contents of 2 boxes, okay? Now, I can do 2 things. I can bring them in with hand weapon shields, or I can bring them in with great weapons, okay? Now, if I bring them in with the hand weapon shields, then they get a special move where they don't give any ground, okay? If they lose a combat by a little, right? They don't give any ground, and but you know their initiative's kind of low, and against the Bretonnians, against the Knights, they're going to go last, okay? The Knights have a higher initiative. So what I'm thinking is, so I'm thinking about giving them great weapons, okay? Now, if I do that, hold on. If I do that, then that's going to eat up some points, okay? That's going to eat up 18 points, which puts me at 936, which is only going to give me 64 points for magic items, okay? Kind of close, so, you know. So, but I'm thinking that might be the better way to go, because I'm going to need to be able to punch through those Knights. Those Knights are going to have, okay, for one thing, they're going to have a regeneration save, because my friend Jesse's going to do the blessing the lady, and I'm going to get to go first, okay? Also, too, they're going to be Knights in armor, they're going to be on barded horses, they're going to have a kick-butt armor save, so I'm going to need the armor piercing of the great weapons to cut through those guys like a can of tuna. So I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and model them with great weapons. 2-handed weapons. You know, it'll look cool. It'll look cool. It'll be devastating. Yep. So, now, so basically we're going to be using 2 boxes. I need 18 of these guys. That way when I add my 2 characters to the unit, it will be a unit of 20. And I can have some even ranks. Now, this is going to be the hardcore combat unit. You know, it should be able to stand up to some abuse. I mean, with the Right Lord, I mean, he's a beast himself. And yeah, so this is going to be a tough nut to crack, hopefully. And then the Blood Knights, I'm hoping are going to be a good counterweight to the Grail Knights. Now, I was talking to my best friend Jesse about my list. I did mention, you know, that I'll be having Graveguard as core, and then I'll be having, you know, Blood Knights. I'm not really worried about giving away too much of my list. That's not really a big problem. Because, you know, it's all fun. You know, I pretty much know what my friend's going to be bringing. It's going to be the same 1,000-point list from before. It's going to be a bunch of bowmen. It's going to be, you know, I don't know if my friend's going to have men at arms or not. But definitely 2 units of knights. Which is tough right there. Now, I'm not going to have the fanatics this time around to be blasting through those guys. So I need the punch of great weapons. I'm trying to get this last one off. I can't really get in there good. There it is. Okay, here we go. This is what we got. So this is 10 right here. Man, it's been a while since I messed with these. If I remember correctly, They're kind of a drag, man, because, yeah, here we go. So I'm definitely going to do these guys with the two-handed weapons. That's the route we're going to go. All right. We'll do 10 at a time. So first we'll do 10 just standard guys, and then the next box we'll do. We'll go ahead and get the other 10 done. Okay, so let me get these guys cut off. I'm glad I got nice cutters, because that makes it easy to get these guys off the sprue without really messing up the sensitive pieces. Because these guys, they should be easier than the old classic skeletons. Oh god, those guys were a nightmare to put together. At least these guys have a bigger, spine area. Now we'll see how the two weapons are, because usually when you're trying to do a weapon, a model with holding the two hands, they never line up good. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully it'll go smooth. I gotta do 18 of these guys. I need to pick up some paint, some bone white. So what I'm thinking, here's what I'm thinking. So for the Graveguard and the dire wolves, I'm gonna primer them black, okay? That way I can do a dry brush in the armor, and then I can paint white over the black for the Graveguard, okay? And then for the dire wolves, I'll dry brush some browns and grays to give them a wolf look, and then I'll need red and a white for the decomposing parts of the wolf. The Blood Knights, and I'll prime them in white, because I'm going to be painting them in a red scheme, so that way they're nice and bright. The ghouls will also be painted in white, so I can hit them with the flesh tone and a flesh wash. So I need to pick up a brown, a white, I already got a metallic, oh geez, maybe a different red, but I don't need that many paints. Now I do have a bunch of paints, but I imagine some of them are pretty dry. I need to go through them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so hold on. Where's the other parts of these guys? Here they are. But yeah. But it's nice, the Right Lord is only 40 points. And I love how he unlocks. Now, if I wanted to, I could have brought in Black Knights as a core choice, and I could have had like the Mirror Army. God, I'm sorry, pardon me. And have 2 units of cavalry as well. It probably would have been less points. But I want to have the foot troops. I really want to go infantry on this. Okay, so now what are we looking for now, my friends? Okay, that's the shoulder pads. Okay, here's the front pieces right here. Let's go ahead and cut those off now too, and then we'll get gluing. Yeah. Now remember the old skeletons, God, they were so hard to glue together. Now the old Graveguard were actually metal, so you didn't have to do much for them other than paint them. I think you had to glue a shield on. I got some of those guys put away. They were quite expensive. Dude, I think they were like 10 for 45 bucks back when I first started playing. So I think I ended up paying like 90 bucks for like a unit of 20. But fortunately, that's back when 20 guys was a lot, and you didn't need much, so that was good, It was mostly skeletons I had a bunch of. So it's going to be nice. So now what I had before is, is I have, I think I have, yeah, I have 10 with hand weapon and shields, and then I have 10 with great weapons. And then what I used to do is depending on what weapons I was using in that game, that's what the front 2 rows would be, you know, because that's back when these guys used to be 5 wide. All right, we're looking for the other front pieces, and then we'll get gluing. I'm hoping to have an easier time with these models. We'll see how it goes. Should be all right. Fingers crossed. Yeah, these guys are pretty tiny looking. Some nice looking shields though. I could still change my mind about the hand weapon shields thing. I don't know. I just think great weapons would be a way to go. But that means I won't have a good armor save though, you know. Because these guys are heavy armor shield. That's a good save. I don't know. I should just keep them hand weapon shields. That's what I should actually do. They won't do as much damage, but they'll probably last longer. I mean, I can raise them, but that's not always guaranteed, you know. Gotta make sure there's troops there to raise, you know. Okay, I don't know. We'll see. We still got time to figure it out. Okay, so let's get the X-Acto knife out. Let's get a little closer to the light. Can I do that without messing up the stream too much? Yeah, it looks pretty good. All right, yeah. So these guys, oh gosh. Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be terrible, my friends. Yuck. Okay. Huh. It's not going to be a fun build. That's not a big area to glue. I got like a little tiny little triangle of spine that holds up this whole torso, the arms. Oh, man. Yep, we'll go. It'll be all right. It'll be fine. Just means we won't get them all built in the video. So I'm just figuring if we can get if we can get the torso, you know, if we can get the chest and the legs put together, we can always put the arms on later, you know. Okay, here we go. How's that gonna look, dude? That's gonna look like actually quite nice. Okay. Oh, jeez. Will it be easier? Oh, God, would it be... I don't know if it's going to be easier to just assemble these guys first and then try to glue it on? I don't know, man. I think that might be the way to go. Is to get this all put together on the top and then glue them down. I think that's how I'm going to do it. That's how I'm going to do it. That's how we're going to do it. We're going to do it that way. We're going to glue the top half completely, and then oh God, I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. That little area is so small. I'm just afraid if I try to jostle it too much when I'm trying to, you know, oh, I'm messy with this. Hold on, we gotta clean this edge up. We don't need it to be that messy. Okay, you gotta watch out I don't cut I'm not cutting the actual, there it goes. Too much super glue built up around that lip there. Makes it sloppy. That looks good, man. Close enough. Close enough. Okay, where was when I was putting glue on? Right here. Yeah, we'll get this guy down. Yeah, that's how we'll do it. We'll put together the whole top part. I might even just pin it. It might be worth it just to pin it. That way these guys aren't breaking on me constantly. It might be the way to go. These guys are going to look awesome though. But a little messy on the super glue on that one. It's alright. It should go better now that I trim this. Yeah. So maybe I'll go back to hand whipping shields. That'll save me 18 points, which would be a little bit more realistic for the magic items. So maybe I'll go hand whipping shields. I don't know, dude. It's just like, it'll give me a better armor save. That'd be heavy armor, shield. So it's 7. It's nothing. A light armor, then a shield, heavy armor. Yeah, it's like a 4+ save, I believe. If I keep it hand weapon shield with the heavy armor, I might be the way to go, man. Oh, there you go. How's this looking? Yeah, there it is. Yeah. God, that's a lot. That's a lot of upper body for just that little part with the spine. Watch. Come on, Ernie. Zoom in. There it goes. Zoom in. I know you want to. You can see it's kind of, I'm sorry, it's so blurry. But yeah, there's barely any area that's glue. Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I worry too much. I over worry about things. I overthink it, you know? Overthinking. It's never good. I mean, it's good to be cautious and think about your build, you know, and then try to dry fit stuff, you know. Oh yes, that's way less glue coming out. That's better now. That was just so much glue that came out. That was not good. Because I had such a dried lip of old glue where it just kind of ran. Yeah, that's so much better now. That's a little more manageable. It won't be so messy. These guys are going to look great painted. A lot of nice detail. Yeah, so if I go back to hand whipping shields, hold on. Yes, I'm back to 918. I'm back to 82 points to work with. That's a little more reasonable because, you know, because the Vampire Thrall, she has 35 points of items she can carry, and then the right king, the right lord, he can carry up to 50. So right there's 85 points. You know, oh gee, that's too much. I can't even use the full 50. I have 82 points to play. No, wait. 19. Okay, 19, 20, 82 points. Yeah. So I can't even use my full 50 for the magic items. This can be pretty tight. So, but the right lord is already coming in with heavy armor and a hand weapon, okay? So I can easily give it like a 25-point magic item, and then, you know, and just hope for the best. I have a regen save because I'm, you know, BC, you know, I get a 6-point regen save across the board, okay, for all my stuff. So I'll get the armor and a regen both, so that'd be good. I'd rather have a magic weapon. I'll be alright. I'm hoping for the best. Now, I'm going to have the same problem where I'm going to be slow and the Bretonians are going to be on me right away, okay? Now, yeah, I got the reserve move, so I'll get the move twice during my shooting phase, okay? And so this time I just got to make sure that I'm in the right formation. Now, I have drilled, okay? So with the drilled is after I'm done moving, I can reform if I read it right, you know. So I can be in marching, and then as soon as I'm done moving, I can be in combat. I'll have to read it again and make sure, because that's what happened to me with the Night Goblins, and that's why I didn't get my combat resolution. Kept me from winning the game. So I'm not going to make that mistake now, because now with the combat resolution I lose guys, okay? So I'll lose whatever my combat resolution loss is going to be. I lose that many wounds, okay, from my troop. And I believe my units will soak up the wounds before my characters do. If I remember correctly. God, like I got super glue on my fingers. See, if I hardly have any contact area on this. This model is so wispy that I'm just trying to be careful, and I'm making a mess no matter what. That's alright. It's totally good. Primer and paint, my friends, they'll cover that up. I mean, it's not like excessively bad, you know. I just like to be neat. I don't like to be sloppy. Okay, so I figured I was over worrying about the reserve move and not being able to march. So, as long as I keep my my line tight and I get lucky with my hellish vigor spell. Oh, dang it! Look, it's all sticking to my finger. Ah, man. Hold on. That's not good. Let me clean that up. I am not happy about that. Okay, I need a better way. God, I'm all raspy. I'm so sorry. I need a better way of getting the glue on here. But it's not like all over my fingers. Okay, hold on. Ah, dang it. I can't see this. Give me a second here, my friends. Okay, where did it drop? Oh, there it is. Right there. Okay, how am I going to do this without making a giant mess, man? I am not really... See, I have like nowhere to grab it. Oh God, this is just going to be messy no matter what, okay? Alright, here, hold on. Because see, look, I got to put a glue here, here, and then right here. Just tiny bits, you know? And it's just so messy with this. But I don't want to try to put glue on a needle and then try to put it on there, because then, I don't know, I just got to be, I don't know, we'll figure it out. I'm not too worried about it. It's just frustrating when everything sticks to your fingers, but not the model, you know? They're going to be nice looking once they're done. God, man, there's like no point of contact on these things. See, that's the problem about with designing it on the computer. You don't got to glue it together, you know. You're not sculpting it in real life. When you're sculpting in real life, you're a little more conscious about how you're going to glue this stuff together, you know. Because you're handling it in wax. But of course, I'm only complaining because I'm having trouble. If I wasn't having any problems, this wouldn't even be part of the discussion. We'd be talking strategies and stuff, you know. But hey, I'm a human being. We all go through the frustration trying to put this tiny crap together that we love so much, that we pay premium money for. Okay, if you think about it, it was 10 guys per box. It was $33. That's like 3 guys, you know, $3 a guy, you know. Minimum right there, you know. There we go. That's going to work out better. happy about that. Okay. God, I hardly have any arm sockets to glue these things on with. That doesn't line up that great either. Okay, there it is. Huh. Well, you're not gonna see that little gap anyways. Once the primer fills it up, there it is. Okay, it's all good. I'm just being hypercritical. You know, I'm not gonna see them with the bifocals when they're on the table. So that's the problem about using magnifying glasses in a way to build things, because you're hyper focused on the details. You know, I mean, it's still gonna join enough, or it's not gonna fall apart. I'm just not happy because it's just not perfect, you know. I used to be a picture framer, so that used to be a thing where I had to be precise and perfect, and it kind of just carries into the hobby thing. Now I notice with age and the fact that I'm wearing the bifocals now, and I'm a little older, my hands don't shake yet, thank God, but it's a little more of a challenge to get some of this stuff together. I mean, tasks that I wouldn't have problems with before in the past, I do now, you know. Oh, man, okay, you know what? I'm just going to grab a different one. See, there it goes. I'm kind of proving my point right there. Now, where did it go is a big question. I'll find it when I'm ready to build the last one, you know. It's okay. Well, actually, I probably should get it now so it doesn't stick to the carpet. Let's pull up that flashlight again. And do we see it? Do we see the piece? Okay, hold on, my friends. Let me look for it really quick. Look, it's all sticking to my fingers. All right, give me a second here. Let me stand up. Ay, ay, ay. Such a tight area I'm working in. There it is. It's just I have the carpeting, so it's good. I don't want to let it stick to the carpet. Thankfully, I didn't get no hair all over it. That's stuck, you know. I got a dog and 2 cats. I got hair everywhere. You know, when you got fur babies, man, you got the fur everywhere. Okay, yeah. So, I don't know. I really want to bring... And the problem is I'm at my minimum unit size for the ghouls and the dire wolves, you know. Now, I could bring less dire wolves, but I'm bringing 10 because I can heal them, yes, but I got to make sure that I have something left over to heal after that first initial round of combat, okay? That's the thing. Sure, you can heal these guys, but there has to be something to heal from. Zombies are the only units I can raise out of thin air, and I can bring past their starting point. So pretty much, you know, and I can only cast from so far away. Because now, the healing spell is, I love it so much now. So now instead of it being a spell, now it's part of your command power. I think it's awesome. That means it can't be canceled. I can't raise as many guys as I used to do in the past, but it's pretty nice. Now I do have an item. It's the scepter. It's 35 points, and it would allow me to be able to cast Invocation of Nayak twice. So I can boost up my troops twice. But after I use the scepter, I have to roll a 6-sided dice. If I roll a 1, I lose a wound, okay? So it can backfire, you know. So, you know, you know, it's just funny how I exactly have that much points left. It's almost like the game's telling me, you know. So I'm thinking about going that route, you know. That way I can really keep up on the healing. Because that's the thing. And I got to keep everything kind of tight. Now I was thinking about sending the ghouls after the bowmen, because the ghouls are skirmishers. They can move through cover. You know, they're going to be harder to shoot, and they're pretty fast, okay? But if I send them after If I send them after the bowmen, they're going to be out of my heal range, you know. So it's really kind of tough, you know. The best bet would be to send the wolves and the blood knights after the bowmen, and then let the ghouls and the grave guard take care of the knights that are going to get charged to my generals in that unit, you know. So I know they're going to get action. Yeah, that's how we're going to do it, friends. We're going to glue all these guys together first, get all the tops done. I'm trying not to be messy. So yes, that's what I figured. So basically I'll take now, with the Blood Knights, I do have, they can take magic items and vampiric powers, okay? Now, I did give them Lord of the Night, okay? So which basically allows the vampire champion in the Blood Knight unit can heal dire wolves, bat swarms, or the fell bats. So if I run the dire wolves and the Blood Knights in tandem, then basically they can heal the dire wolves, okay? So that might be a thing, and that way I can run them separately for a tiny bit, and they can go take care of some problems, you know. We'll see how it goes, you know. That's the plan. Now I was really hoping to give them reserve move so they can do that, but they're not going to be able to. But what I don't know. But it's still nice to have another way of healing, even if it's just one unit. So if that's the case, if I keep them close together and keep it like a tight line, I can always have the Blood Knights heal the dire wolves. That way my vampire thrall can just focus on healing the crypt ghouls and the grave guard, you know. It's worth it for 15 points to be able to have another vampire that can heal, even if it's just one unit. These guys are 8 points each. If I can bring back 2 of them, then I've already earned that 15 points back. Now the Blood Knights, they have the first charge, counter charge. They got all kinds of rules. So these guys are going to be beasts. So my best bet is to save them for the other knights. All 5 of them can issue challenges. They also have to accept challenges. Okay, I got 3 more to go. Yeah. Really not happy about so little contact point for glue. And the thing about it is because of the nature of the super glue, even if it has a nice little delivery tip, after time, it's going to get corroded, it's going to get glue buildup, so you're going to lose that kind of nice, you know, trying to be neat. Fortunately, most of the models aren't this wispy. The skeletons will be the same problem, but it'll be alright. Because like I said, once I get the primer and glue on there, it'll be fine. We got an hour and 15 minutes to spend together, friends. Because I got my live stream today. I'll be making another video this week. I'm still trying to keep up my 2 videos a week promise, my friends. Just this week was a little busy at my job, and me and my wife have been really kind of tired. Yeah, Santa Fe, New Mexico is like a tourist town, okay? You know, we're like, you know, we're the oldest capital of the United States, you know. Spanish were here before the Pilgrims. So we also have the oldest church in the United States and the oldest house in the United States, you know. And we get a lot of tourism. So my job is basically on the main street of town, you know. So we're very busy. And we get like, seasonal. We get tourists in all the seasons. We have really good skiing. So we're very busy during the winter time. We got great fishing and camping. New Mexico is a beautiful state. There's a reason why they call it the land of enchantment. There's a reason why there's a lot of westerns filmed here. It's very beautiful. But I'm not really a sportsman type guy. I haven't been fishing in decades. This is my sport. It used to be, but it is again. But yeah, so I'm figuring, I don't know, it's just tough, my friends. Now, I can give the Right King the Helm of Commandment for 40 points, which would boost up their weapon skill, which would be really good. It'd make them really better fighters. So, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard. I don't have a lot of points to work with. 82 points is nothing. Especially when you're talking magic items. She doesn't have magic armor. Now, if I did that, that's going to soak up all my points. I won't be able to heal twice. I don't know. It's going to be a trade-off. It's a trade-off. It's a hard decision to make. Because if my general dies, my whole army disintegrates. So it's like, but if I don't survive the combats, then I die. It's like a double-edged sword. No pun intended. But it's going to be good. So what I'm going to be bringing is I'm going to be bringing the Biting Blade, okay? That's a bargain at 15 points. So what that does is it basically gives, it's an armor-piercing weapon, okay? So it has -2 AP, then also has Armor Bane, okay? And that's the same weapon I used last time to kill the Bretonnian general, because it just blasted right through the armor, So I'm going to be taking that. Now the vampire, oh god, it's all sticking to my fingers. This is that last one. Come on, man, don't be difficult, Ern. It's actually Ern. Don't be difficult, model. It's going to look great once it's all put together. But yeah. Now I lost my train of thought because of the stupid glue. There it is. See, I just don't want to get a bunch of glue on the front and lose all that nice detail. There it is. There we go. Okay. So what we should do is while these guys are drying, because we gotta let these guys dry for a bit, I don't want to push it. I got too much glue on my fingers. I don't want to make a big mess and have all this be wasted time. Because the more you try to re-glue this stuff, the worse it's going to look. Especially in something really wispy and and fragile like these skeletons are. The other skeletons are going to be just as bad. Now, fortunately, for the dire wolves, I get to use the same size bases they came with, so that's going to be nice. So what we're going to do now is we're going to glue these guys down. While the torsos of our graveguard are drying, because we don't want to. I had so much trouble getting those guys put together that we got to let them sit for a bit, We might not get them all completed. We'll try. Now this part, pardon me, is nice because if they give you a nice little wide area for glue, this we can be a little more, liberal with the glue, not really worrying about it being so messy. These would be fun to paint. And then basically we're going to just put them back a ways on the back so there's a lot of airspace in the front. I got about maybe not quite a 1/4 inch behind them. They'll grab pretty soon. That's the part about gluing is, man, you can't be impatient, you know, because you, man, and the thing is, you don't want to be too messy with the glue, especially because, you know, especially when the glue dissolves the plastic to stay together, you know, and can I take my finger off it now? Yeah, that's good. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get all the dire wolves glued to their bases. And we're kind of completing these guys in levels. So at least now we know how much we need to build, okay? So pretty much it's going to be the 5 knights, the 18 grave guard. So we won't get it all done this video. That's okay, my friends, because it's not a race. It's more about spending this time together, hobby time. It's important to have the hobby time, you know. The putting together, the planning the list, the actual model hobby part of it is just important as the combat, you know. That's what makes you invested into your troops, is all the effort and power you put into them when you glue, because you're putting a part of yourself into them. That's why it's important to be in a good mood, so you're not putting that negative energy in, you know. Now, oh God, so I never met the person. This is before this person left the group, before I joined, okay? But we used to have a person in the group that when they lost, they would take that unit that caused them the loss, throw it on the ground, and stomp on it. Crazy, huh? Nope. Of course, that person never got a lot of games. It only had to happen just a couple of times before nobody would play that person. It's important to have game etiquette, okay? Now, sportsmanship is, it's not just about losing and winning, my friend. It's your behavior during the game, you know? Okay, so there's nothing wrong with a little ribbing, you know, a little trash talk when it's kept to a minimum and it's funny, okay? When it's the moment, you know? But the whole time, it's wearing, okay? Because you got to figure, this game's intense for us. For us nerds, this is our battle. This is our combat, you know. This is how we get to be generals, get to be men, get to be the big guy, you know. You know, and I don't mean it like, you know, like women and trans people can't play this game. I'm just saying in general, okay? I'm just speaking in general terms, so don't, you know, don't worry about it, you my friends. My best friend's trans. So is my niece. Doesn't bother me. I love the person. If they change their mind and want to be something else, I love them as well. You know, as long as it's not ridiculous. You know, as long as they don't say, "Hey, I'm a rock now," or "I'm a tree." You know, water me if I look dry. You know, there's limits. You know, I don't know. Okay, but what I'm saying is don't put negative energy into your models when you build them. Okay, don't be a jerk when you're playing people in games, you know. Be a good person. You'll get a lot of good playing. Gracious losers, man. It's a big thing. If you can learn to lose, man, you'll get your wins. Because the thing is, you got to play games to win, my friend. Now, my best friend Jessie, who told me, she was always great about saying, you know, you have to play 100 games before you start to get the hang of it, you know. So the more games you can play, it increases your chances of winning. Yeah, every loss is a lesson, okay? You can't take a loss personally because of dice, okay? It's not all skill, my friends. There's a lot of luck involved. Sure, you can be smart about your placement, but man, you know, we're still moving around toys, my friend. You know, we're not like generals, okay? It's just not, you know, it's sure there's strategy involved. You know, I'm not downplaying it. But I'm saying is, we're supposed to be having fun, you know? Little war games, you know? This is basically no different than us playing army as little kids, you know? But with expensive models, you know? It's not cheap. you know. So you just gotta have a good attitude about it. For me, I'm happy to play. You know, if I win, that's fantastic. That's frosting on the cake. You know, I never go in expecting to win. I do hope for the best. I'm not like, oh, I'm gonna lose. You know, everybody wants to win. Don't get me wrong, but you can't make it the whole thing, my friend. You can't make it the whole thing. You know, because then you'll get no joy. You know, you spend a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of effort getting these guys ready for the battlefield. You know, getting them ready for the tabletop. So you got to make sure that last part is a good experience for you, or this all feels like wasted time. Then you feel like you got burned by wasting all this money. Now for me, it was mostly about not getting the stuff together. You know, I'm having a little trouble with this one. I need a little more glue. I'm just so thankful that I'm actually getting a chance. Now my friend Jesse, you know, basically every Warhammer player I know has a pile of shame, or it wouldn't be a meme thing, okay? So for a lot of us vets, you know, who aren't bitter about the world blowing up, you know, this is great for us, you know. It's great for us because we already have all the models, okay? And then we have a chance. Now I haven't been able to buy any models yet, like I hoped, but I'll get them eventually. There's only a handful of stuff I need to buy, you know, only a handful. And it's mostly just reissues of Forge World stuff, you know. Because like I said, I started playing the 6th edition, so I got, you know, well, you guys saw, I showed you all my plastic. So, you know, I'm very happy and ecstatic that now I have spent some money. Now, to be honest, my friends, if I wasn't doing the channel, I probably wouldn't have bought the stuff I bought, you know. But I'm figuring it's good for the channel. You know, it's good for me. I'm going to try to write off my taxes like a pro, you know, like for supplies. Plus, I wanted to buy something. It's been forever since I bought anything Warhammer. I wanted to buy something. This is my excuse. You guys are my excuse to buy things. Play along. You guys are. I'm just, you know, I'm in a good mood today. I got a lot of sleep. I was very ornery earlier. I've been having, I had a bunch of tests. Hey, it was good news. They were testing me for cancer, okay? They were testing me for cancer. Thank God I didn't have any problems, okay? I've been having some major health issues in the last 2 years, my friends. That's why I had to drop down to 4 days a week. You know, that's why I don't get much done. That's another reason why I'm really pushing for this channel, you know. I know I'm not going to be able to stay home and make this my job, but I've already paid a utility bill already, you know. I've gotten 2 paydays from YouTube already, okay. So already I got, you know, you only get paid when you make $100, okay. If you don't have $100 by the 21st of the month, then your money carries over, okay. I've had 2 paydays. It's nice. I used them for bills, which was the intention. Now my wife was saying I should have bought something fun, you know, with the money, but I've been telling people that the money I make from the stream will go either to equipment for the stream or bills for the house, you know. And that's the agreement I made with my wife, and that's why I can feel good about spending all this time. I spend a lot of time on the channel. It's amazing. I had no idea how much time it would take, but I love it. It's a labor of love. I got to meet a lot of neat people. Okay. Oh, you know, I gotta move that guy over. Hold on. He's a little off the base. Now, the thing about these guys with the dynamic poses, I gotta make sure they at least line up side to side. Okay, there we go. That's good. But yes. So this Orville has been pretty awesome. Now, I remember when I first heard about the news, because, you know, I watch a lot of videos, and I kept up on GW News, just to skim, because I missed him as a company. I didn't, you know, none of my friends were into the Age of Sigmar. It didn't take off, and, you know. And, it was just nice to have this come back. It feels good to be working on this stuff. I do a little hobby work. Mostly what I do is a little bit of painting when me and my wife are watching TV, you know. We have a computer in here, so we'll watch the computer in here, instead of watching TV downstairs. They've been watching Fallout, you know. So usually what I'll do is I'll work on the guys, you know, on my night goblins, you know. Because you know, it's gonna take a while to paint those guys because they're such a big unit, you know. I got a lot of them, and that's how I'll paint these guys too, you know. Get a little bit done when me and my wife are watching TV. That's how I do my painting. That way I can still spend time with her and I'm still working on my stuff, you know. I love my wife. We've been together forever and she's cool with me doing all this stuff. So I got to be nice. I got to show I'm appreciative. I can't take it for granted. I'm very lucky. Very lucky to meet my soulmate. I'm really hoping to get her into the models. I gotta jump on this 40K thing before she wears out. Now she keeps asking me about it, so I gotta make sure. I jump on that opportunity. But I'll be putting together the models and painting them, so it's gonna be work. It'll be labor of love. We'll do it together. My wife's not gonna be able to paint them at all or glue them. Her hands aren't that steady. And her eyesight's not that great, you know. We're senior citizens. But basically your grandparents' age, my friend, or your parents' age. Either one. But I love it. I love it that this hobby came back. This will give us enough time to keep working on stuff. Actually, we only got about 15 more minutes, so. It's hard to get a lot done in an hour, but it's okay. Because what we do get done in an hour is some premium visit time. You know, I know we all need this hobby time. We all need to, you know, to celebrate our hobby and, you know, share what we're doing. I should try to put the link in the Discord more often in my description. I have a Discord. Mostly it's for the video games, my Mini Warhammer section. I've had a couple people join. Thank you. Hey, my friends, thanks for liking and watching. I should say thank you again. You know, it means a lot, my friends. The Warhammer thing has been a boon. It's been a boon. It's been all around. It's been a boon, my friend. I've gotten so many new viewers because of the videos. And it's nice because I've got to interact with people who love the same hobby as me. It's been mostly positive, not that much negative, you know. But you know, YouTube, it's the internet. You're gonna have negative no matter what. You can't let it bother you. Now, for me, I work asset protection at my job, so you know, some negative comments in a thread, it's not that much for me, you know. I get treated worse at my job, you know. I've been threatened before, you know. I've actually been physically, you know, hit by shoplifters and stuff, you know. Had to go to court. Yeah, my friends, it's crazy. That's why I love the YouTube thing, my friends. It's a total night and day from my real job, you know. You know, I didn't intend to fall into asset protection. I just did. I'm good at it. I'm good at catching people stealing. I'm good at solving scams. I'm good at finding, you know, money being wasted, you know. And my jobs have always been a manager, okay? This is the first time I've never been a manager, only because of health issues. So I work in claims now. I don't do since I started having trouble with my heart, I don't do the apprehension stuff anymore. Now I just work in claims and I stop waste. You know, I find waste and I stop it, you know. It's refreshing to not to be dealing with the crime aspect and mostly about, you know, trying to recover open package items, trying to reseal them for selling, marking stuff down, processing clearance and claims, you know, learning about how to throw things away, you know. That's what I'm doing now. It's a nice change. I still work the door 1 day a week, you know, but I'm not assisting on the shoplifting stuff as much now. Hardly at all, thank God, because my heart can't take it no more. They were asking me for a while to be the store detective, like one of them, but I had to keep declining because, see, here's the problem, my friends. Okay, so I'm a very energetic guy, as you could tell. from how I talk and my behavior on the videos, okay? I'm actually 60 years old, okay? I don't dye my hair at all, okay? I look really good for my age. Now, the reason why I look good for my age is I stopped drinking when I was 40 years old because I almost had a heart attack and died. No, 42. I'm sorry, 42 years old, okay? So that was actually a good thing for me. It was a life changer. It made me open my eyes. It changed my, because I was always a workaholic, you know. I used to be the manager. They would send to broken stores, okay, and I would get that store running smooth, and then I would move on to the next broken store, okay. And that's the kind of guy I was. I was a hatchet man. I'd go to your store, evaluate it, get it running smooth, and then tell them who to fire. You know, thank God I don't do that anymore either. It's crazy how I got all these responsibilities. I've always been that way because I've always been like, I always care. I always put 110% in, so I always rose up in management, you know. But I always had that chill attitude, you know. Having the heart attack was the best thing in the world for me, friends. It was a lifesaver. I'd be dead already if it wasn't for that. I mean, it sounds weird, but it changed me. When I came back, I actually did flatline. I did die. The doctor, I was unconscious for 5 days and off work for 6 months, okay? Doctor told me the only reason why I was still alive because I was in the ER because my brother took me. So, you know, I took that as a second chance. So that's why I'm positive about everything. That's why even bad things I'm happy about because, you know, I'm not dead. And I was. I came close. I've already had two near misses with the heart, my friends. So I've already had almost 2 heart attacks already, okay? So that's why I got to be careful because I damaged my heart. And that's why I got to be chill, you know? Oh, again, back to the point. That's why people don't think I'm sick because I don't look like it, okay? I don't look like I'm all messed up inside, okay? Unfortunately, it's my heart, you know, the thing I need the most, you know? So it's kind of hard, you know? So play Warhammer and all this stuff is, oh, he just fell off. So it's good, you know. That's why I don't do physical stuff. I used to fish and, you know, I was never a hunter. I was more of a fisher. I used to love to shoot guns, you know, but I never went hunting. I've never been a hunter. I like fishing. Oh, I love fishing because it's mostly a Zen thing. Now, I kept the fish and I ate them. But when my best friend died, I stopped doing that stuff. That's been a while, you know. Yeah. So glad the Warhammer's back. We should bring it back to Warhammer. Now, pretty much my 1,000-point Night Goblin list is going to be pretty much the same list I took in the last game. Just all my characters will have magic items, and I'll have 1 or 2 extra guys in the units. So pretty much, you know, I have to finish putting together the squid hoppers and then paint those guys and then work on my characters. Once we go into the 1,500 point list, because we're playing progression. And so once I go into that, that's when I'll start breaking out the trolls. I'll start breaking out the artillery. Now basically what I'll probably add is the goblin bolt throwers to my Night Goblin force, because those are perfect against knights. But yeah, so at least I got my 2 lists kind of built where I know what I need. So now I can just focus on the painting. And it's nice knowing what I'm going to have for my 1,000-point list. So now I won't be building models I won't be using just right away. And I can focus on getting them primed and painted. And it's going to be easier because now they're easy amounts, you know. 29. I got 20 goals, 10 wolves, 2 characters. You know, I'll have 18 infantry and 5 cavalry. It'll be pretty easy to do. I won't get it done right away, but it'll be manageable, and I'll do it in bites. So the first thing will be is to get them table ready. 3 colors. And then I go on and I just keep adding details and I keep painting until they're all done, you know. Okay, that one looks okay. It's kind of a funky pose. I'm not that, well, you know what? I should move that one a little bit more forward because of his tail. There it goes. Yeah, because he's not going to line up too good. Because he has a bunch of room in front of him. Now, if I ever need more dire wolves, I can always break out my old ones. Because what I did, yes, that's better now. Now he can line up a little bit. I mean, they're basically, you know, yeah, that works. That works pretty good. All right. Not bad, my friends. We're making some progress. Oh, there's our timer. Okay. I always give myself snooze time. So basically, we'll just kind of wrap it up. I still got a bunch of nail, a big old gob of super glue on my nail from the last video. But yes, my friends, I really look forward to this time. I would have had 2 videos out. I said it was a hard day. It was a hard time at work. Very rough. And, you know, I even had it set up. And we were going to do the video we're doing now a couple of days ago, but my friends, I was exhausted. I set it up and I fell asleep in my chair. And it was just too late. It was too late, you know. So, if I'm not 100%, I'm not going to make the video, my friends. I'm not going to waste your time with a substandard video, okay? And my production levels aren't that great, okay? But I give it a lot of effort, okay? I put my passion and my soul into it. I put my energy into it. And, you know, even though it's not scripted, I talk from the heart, okay? And if I don't feel good, or if I don't, you know, if I'm not feeling up to par, I'm not going to force it out, you know? I'm not going to do that to you guys. Your time's too valuable. And I thank you for your time, you know? That's the only thing you can't get back is time. You can make all the money in the world, but you got to pay with your time. You know, I was telling my wife, we have a lot of stuff, you know. We have a lot of stuff. You know, we're older. So we have a lot of movies, a lot of games, a lot of books, a lot of crafting projects. I got like art supplies. My wife has a ton of yarn, some looms. So I was telling her that, you know, we need to start cleaning up our mess, start lightening our load, so that way, you know, when it's our time to pass, the significant other doesn't have a big mess to deal with. And you basically have to choose what hobbies you have because they all take time, you know. So I started giving away board games. I was an avid board game player. So I started giving away the more mundane ones, you know. Like the standard ones you can go rebuy. So anything like GW, Zombicide, anything that's novelty niche, specialty I'm keeping, but anything like Risk and Monopolies, we had all those games, you know. I did keep a couple of vintage board games that you can't really find, you know, from the 70s, you know, but basically I'm trying to get rid of stuff so I have more time for the things that I have now. Because at my stage in life, actually at any stage in life, time management is important, okay? Now, if you want to do something and you're passionate about it, do it 15 minutes a day. You know, spend a half hour a day. And then you'll be surprised how much time adds up, you know. That's what I do with my practicing the piano. You know, at first that was only 10 minutes. Now I play an hour. I play an hour all the time, you know. Now sometimes I don't get to, but I try. Well, my friends, we made some great progress. Okay, so we know what our list is going to be. Pretty much we know we're bringing 18 Graveguard with hand whip and shields. As much as I would love to bring great weapons, it cuts into my magic allotment way too much. Okay? Basically, it's going to be 2 characters, You know, only one spellcaster. That's going to be dangerous, but it's all right. Because it's not about winning, it's about having fun. Once I move up to the next step, I'll be able to bring another necromancer. It'll be all right, you know. But I have a good enough force where I feel confident about it. Um, Basically, I'll be doing Hellish Vigor so I can get my reserve moves off, and then I can heal as a command power. So that takes a lot of pressure off, you know. I'll have a dispel, you know, from my ability. A lot of my it'd be a lot of hexes and buffs. Now I can bring Spell Familiar for 15 points, which will give me an extra spell to choose. I could still cast only one spell per round, but I'll have two to choose from, and I can alternate. You know, that's also, now if I do that, I won't be able to bring the Scepter de Nor and be able to do Imbo twice. Oh, we got one more snooze, friends. I want to give myself a good 35 minutes before I start streaming. So I have a chance to get a quick snack, and I have to set up my camera. Oh, actually, I got to take the webcam off and then switch it for PC capture. Thank you for the opportunity, my friends. Thank you. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for the watches and likes. Especially thank you for the comments and the interaction. It means a lot. So, I figure one or two more games under our belt, and then we'll be able to start video recording them, okay? I don't want to record them right now. I have permission, that's not the problem. It's just right now, Jesse and myself, we're still referencing the material a lot more than the game playing. Once we get it where it's a lot more game action going on, and then unless looking at the paperwork, then I'll start recording, okay? We're almost there. Our last game, we hardly looked at stuff. We still had to, but not as bad. I just want to have good videos, my friend, because I'll be recording live, you know, with the phone. And I don't want to do a bunch of editing if I can avoid it, you know. Our games weren't very long, because it's still really small points. They're the perfect size, you know, where you get a couple, boom. So basically, our first two games are over by round 3. You know, so we'll see how it goes. I'm really hoping for some better results. Now, so far in our games, I almost won. I should have won, you know. It's all right. It's a learning experience. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel good about the game that, you know, I only lost because of minor issues. So it makes me feel good about my skills. It's been forever since I played a Warhammer game. And we're talking 2014, my friends. This is the last time 8th edition, end times. You know, this is the last time I got to move my troops around. So this is awesome. This is fun. Now, I need to do a 40K video. So the Orc book dropped. So I'm going to be buying that pretty soon. And then I'll start getting into 40K. That's when I'll lure my wife in with the Imperial Guard. Okay, folks. It's that time, my friends. Thanks for watching and liking. And, you know, thank you for coming back. I'm so glad we got to enjoy this time. GW, thanks for bringing back the old world. Dude, I'm so happy this stuff. But, you know, okay. I'm kind of bummed out. It always sells out. I don't get to buy stuff. But it's good for the hobby, my friends, okay? They'll bring it back, believe me. These guys love to make money, okay? They'll bring it back. This is good. This is good for the game. That stuff sells out constantly. Yes, it's frustrating. Yes, it's a drag not to be a buy stuff. But it's showing GW that there's a hunger for this, my friends. And now they're more committed. They changed their mind about this game because it's making cash now. So it's good. It's good for us. Like I predicted, that we're going to see more legacy armies become core armies, my friend. It's going to happen. Watch. It's going to happen. Because it means money for these guys. It's pounds, it's dollars, it's yen. It's cash. And that's what GW knows, because they're a business. I'm frustrated I couldn't buy my stuff. I'll get it eventually. But I'd rather have game support for the long haul than to be able to buy the models than have the game end again. You know, this is my last chance to play GW games. You know, I can't wait around for another 10 years for a reboot. I'll be in my 70s. My hands will be too... I'll have trouble building models. I'm already struggling already. Not gonna lie, I'm having trouble already. Not because my hand's still pretty steady. It's the eyes. It's the eyes, my friend. Now I got this cool magnifying glass, but I don't want to be breaking it out yet. I will eventually, when it comes to painting details on the characters. Okay, my friends. Hey, you know what? I'll have this up. I'll have this up real soon. Probably tonight. Okay? You guys will be able to watch it in the morning, depending where you live. Okay, my friends. Look forward to another video in a couple of days, okay? I gotta play catch up. Thanks, my friends. Thanks. Have a great day, and may your dice roll sixes, and may you win all your battles, and if you don't, have fun while doing it. Later, bros. Later, friends.